Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of EricksonTV. Curtis here with Lauren. Hello, Lauren.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Lauren. I'm going to test your memory for one of our greatest hits of EricksonTV. But do you recall an episode we did in the past about what makes people really happy, or true happiness?
Yes.
And what were some of the criteria or things that were, if you could recall, that made people happy?
Well, the one I'm thinking of was specifically one we were talking about in retirement.
Right.
What made people happy, and connections to friends and relatives.
Right. Social.
That was a big thing. Keeping physically and mentally active was a big thing.
Yeah.
And this is probably linked up with connecting to friends and relatives, but having really activities that you were involved in, stuff that you did, organizations that you belonged to.
Right, right. And so as part of that equation, we really talked. We determined that just money in itself does not make people happy.
Right.
So this is kind of a follow-up to that study, and the title of this USA Today article is "Can Wealth Really Buy Happiness?"
Okay.
And what they did do is they looked at people at different income levels, and they analyzed different levels of income. So like the first, like 0 to 50,000 of income, then it went up to 75,000 income. What they determined, and the question was, as the income level went higher, did the numbers change? You know, for the percentage of people that said that they were content and happy with their life. That was kind of the gist of it in a summary format. So what was interesting and they found is that as people got to income of let's say over 250,000, 100% of those people said that they were very happy with their life. Okay. And so the takeaway from that, so at first surface it says, okay, what they're looking at on the surface is that, okay, the more money they made, then they probably were happier as a percentage. But then the authors did the kind of went back and they dug a little deeper, and they asked secondary questions, and they looked at the study of, they went back and said, what makes people unhappy?
Okay.
And so a couple of the top things that during this time was commuting to work was one of the unhappy things that people went through. And and that was a very unhappy part of their day. The other one was having to go shop for groceries after you work all day, or basic food things. And then so what they inferred from this is that the reason that the people that made perhaps more income were virtually 100% saying they were happy with and content with their lot in life was that, first of all, they often were able to buy a home that was very close to where they work, so they didn't commute so much. Also, they were not spending their money on sort of the basic necessities of life. They were able to use that time for socializing. So it fits in with what you said. And then last but not least, they said that it's an alternative relative life evaluation measurement of happiness. I believe we did an episode about where people's place they are in society is what makes them happy. So on a relative basis, because these people knew that as they made more income, that on a relative scale in their society, they're making big bucks. That's what they gave them really the happiness is the relative scale of with their place in that society. So
Interesting.
Takeaway from this is, can wealth really buy happiness? I don't believe it's actually true. I think they're just reaffirming what we said in that previous episode about what makes you happy at retirement. So the takeaway from this is that if you don't make a lot of money, it's still important to find the things that are important in life, and that will increase your level of happiness.
Absolutely.
Thank you for watching this episode of EricksonTV, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.
See you next time.